Good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to another installment of the Dwayne Allen Guitar Concepts YouTube channel. This is going to be take 2 of the same lesson. I put this out yesterday and I noticed there was some audio problems with the sound, so I decided to take it down and give it another shot. So this is going to be a lesson on creative uses of diatonic arpeggios. And just to give you a little backstory, actually, I want to talk a little bit about what you might need to know before you do this lesson, then we'll do the backstory. So this is definitely an advanced lesson. It's kind of an advanced concept. So it definitely, you should be kind of experienced jazz guitar player, or you could be a rock fusion player too, but someone who has been playing for a long time and has a really good understanding of theory, and they can play jazz already, and you know, it's someone who may even be professional or like a college student or something like that. Anyway, you want to know, all the different kinds of scales and arpeggios and different keys all around the neck to be able to get this lesson to the full capacity. So anyway, getting back to the original story. So I actually learned this concept by listening to a great modern jazz guitar player named Jonathan Kreisberg. And it was on a record with Dr. Lonnie Smith, both of them from the Miami area like myself, and I was able to get to know both of them a little bit growing up and hanging out and listening to their great music and everything. And so on the record, Jonathan does this really cool lick. I think it's on a tune called Minor Mood. I could be wrong on the title, but it's kind of a C minor blues. And he does this really cool lick that kind of goes something like this. That kind of thing, but he does it over a C minor chord, okay? So it's kind of like a sequence pattern of like diatonic arpeggios. And when I heard that, I remember thinking to myself, that's a really interesting sound because it wasn't really over a C minor chord. So as I learned the lick and kind of thought about what he was doing, I realized that he was doing diatonic arpeggios out of the G harmonic minor scale, even though it's a C minor chord, okay? And it works because the C minor 7 is the 4 chord of the G harmonic minor scale, okay? So first things first, if you're going to do this lesson, one of the things that you should be able to be familiar with is being able to play diatonic arpeggios for all of your different kinds of scales. So like if you can, you want to be able to do it the major scale, like if you take a C major, whoops, try again. And being able to do the diatonic arpeggios within that scale. Okay, and also being able to do it in harmonic minors, melodic minors, that kind of a thing. If you want to be good at that to be able to get the full extent of this exercise. So anyway, after I learned that lick and kind of thought about what Jonathan was doing, it kind of made my head explode in a way, because then I realized, well, if you could do that over the 4 chord, you could do that over any of the chords of the harmonic minor. And that really blew my mind. And it gave me some really cool things to practice. And then I started thinking about it, and I said, man, you could do that with the major scale, with the harmonic minor scale, with the melodic minor. And then I realized, okay, well, that gives me about a year worth of stuff to practice. So that's what I've been kind of working on occasionally now and then. So this is, one of those things that I practice that, I think a lot of musicians do this too, where like everybody else, I'll work on technique and transcribing, and then I play tunes and stuff. But sometimes I'll work on harmonic concepts. So I'll take like a chord and I'll lock it in my looper, and then I'll practice new concepts over that chord just to try to get some new sounds. I might try a new kind of scale over that chord, or I might play like some kind of new kinds of triads or whatever it is. And that's a great way to practice. That way you're getting new harmonic information into your playing, okay? So the basic concept of this is, and we could do it with the major scale first, is that if you take a C major scale, right, and you're locking in a C major 7 chord like this, you can just play all of the diatonic arpeggios of that chord like this. Right? Sounds kind of interesting, we're just doing the diatonic arpeggios of C. And this is when this is on a type of a tune where you would have some time on each chord, you know, where like one chord goes for a while, maybe 2 measures or 4 measures. That way you have time to do these patterns. I guess, I mean, you could do it over any tune, but you're not going to have a lot of time if the chords keep coming at you. So this is a cool thing to do like over a modal tune, okay? So I just did it over a C major chord. It sounds okay. It's not that interesting, but I find this concept is much more interesting when you do it on other chords within the key. So like, let's say if we're in the key of C and I play a 5 chord, which is like a G7 or a G13, right? So I'll do this. So then what I'll do is I'll play the diatonic chords of C major, but I'll do it starting on G since we're on a G chord, okay? Right? Sounds kind of cool, and you could do it, the concept is though, is you can do it with any of the diatonic chords of C major. So like if I did an F Lydian, right? Then I'll do all the diatonic chords of C again, but starting on F. Right? Kind of has a cool, interesting sound that way, right? But it's still kind of boring because it's the C major. So I like doing this with more exotic sounding scales, like a harmonic minor or a melodic minor or even a harmonic major, which is a whole other world. But so the harmonic minor is the one I'm going to kind of focus on today, because this concept you can use over any of the parent scales, right? But we're just going to do major and harmonic minor. So take an A harmonic minor scale, okay? Now you can do it on the 1 chord and it works. So I'm going to make the 1 chord a minor major 7, because that's the 1 chord of a harmonic minor. So we're going to do that. So diatonic chords of A harmonic minor. Right, I'm going kind of fast. I can go a little slower. And you can do any combination or pattern with these arpeggios too. You can go. Right, you can do any kind of combination of all those arpeggios. So, sounds cool over the 1 chord, but let's do it over some of the other chords, because that's where it sounds interesting. So, I'm going to steal the concept that I took from Jonathan Kreisberg. By the way, thank you, Jonathan, for the great idea. I learned something from just one of your phrases, and that's something that we all can learn from records. That's why you should listen to records and transcribe, because you might hear a cool lick or something and then figure out a new concept from it, and that can open up a whole new world of other stuff. So, key of A minor, the 4 chord is D minor 7. Let's try D minor 7. So, A harmonic minor again, starting on D. Oh, let me try that again. Sounds really beautiful, right? So you can do it on other chords with an A harmonic minor. I really love doing it on the 6th chord. The 6th chord of a harmonic minor is a major 7. And whenever I do the 6th chord, whenever I'm doing this concept, I kind of like doing like a little vamp. This is just sounds cool, and all of these notes fit within A harmonic minor. So the 6th chord in A harmonic minor is F major 7. But also within A harmonic minor, you can stay with the F in the bass and do an E triad on top of that. It's kind of like any of those songs where you have a major 7-1 and then a diminished 7-1. You go back and forth, you know. They have that in the end of Upper Manhattan Medical Group. But you can go. Beautiful sound. So let me just fool around with that a little bit. I'm going to do the F. I'm going to do A harmonic minor starting on F. the 5 chord, which is an altered dominant. So I'm going to do an E. I'm going to do an E dominant 7 flat 9. Same deal, starting on E. Really cool sound. Same type of deal. You can do it on the 2 chord, which is a minor 7 flat 5. So it's a B minor 7 flat 5. Same deal again. Right? Same concept, just different chords within the key. You can do all of these ideas within a melodic minor. Obviously, to do any of this stuff, you need to know the theory. You know, what are the diatonic chords of the major scale? What are the diatonic chords of the harmonic minor, melodic minor, harmonic major? But that concept works with any of those scales. And it's a great way to get some new sounds, because anyone who's been playing jazz for a while, they know that there's all kinds of triad things that you can do over any kind of chord. Well, this is one way of coming up with triads for it. And as you heard me play, I was just kind of going up and down, doodle-doo, that kind of thing. Some guys will do all kinds of permutations of the arpeggios. I mean, I guess you can go whatever the hell. And you could do whatever. You can make all kinds of patterns of arpeggios and that kind of thing. I don't do a lot of that, actually, to be honest with you. I've never been a fan of listening to someone that has all these patterns worked out and then they plug it in improvisation. That's not my thing. I like to hear someone purely improvising. Now, if those patterns come out naturally, you're in the middle of a zone and your ear is hearing that and the patterns kind of work their way out, then that's really cool. But sometimes I find a lot of guitar players, especially, they just have all these tricks that they've worked out and they plug it in, and I'm not a fan of that. But practicing this concept and getting used to the sounds, these ideas are going to come out naturally. And that's the goal, is for anything that you practice to come out naturally and not planned, right? A big part of practicing any of this stuff or anything you're ever working on is you should sing everything. Sing everything you play, everything you practice. So if you're by yourself, make sure this stuff gets in your ear. So do do da do da da do do da da do da do do da. Even if you don't have a great voice, just do it anyway, because it gets into your ear and then you can hear all this stuff. So when you're improvising, it'll just work itself out. And to me, that's the goal of a great improviser, is just to play what you're hearing in your head. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that lesson. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it below. And if you like the lesson, please hit subscribe. And also, if you're interested in taking lessons with me privately through the FaceTime or Zoom or anything, I do that. I love doing that kind of stuff. So just hit me up, and thank you so much for listening. Have a good one.